39 pairs of identical black Nikes lined up with military precision on bunk beds. Each pair belonged to a lifeless body, uniformly dressed in black tracksuits with arm patches reading Heaven's Gate Away Team. The scene unfolded on March 26, 1997, when San Diego authorities responded to an anonymous tip about the eerie silence in the sprawling mansion in Rancho Santa Fe. It was a silence that would soon echo loudly in headlines worldwide. These were not mere victims. They were followers, convinced believers in the promises of Marshall Applewhite, known affectionately to them as Dew. Applewhite, a charismatic and enigmatic leader, crafted a narrative of salvation in the guise of a UFO trailing the Hale-Bopp comet. His followers, everyday people who laughed, loved, and held jobs, entrusted their lives to his vision. Among them was Thomas Nichols, brother to actress Nichelle Nichols of Star Trek fame, whose laughter once filled family gatherings but was now silenced forever. The group's final days were spent in meticulous preparation. They recorded farewell messages explaining their joy and anticipation. They believed they were transcending to a higher existence aboard an extraterrestrial spacecraft. There was no hesitation, no hint of doubt in their voices, only serene acceptance. What drove them to embrace such a fate? Marshall Applewhite's journey to this tragic end began decades earlier. Raised in a deeply religious family in Texas, he struggled with his identity and faith. His life took a dramatic turn after a failed marriage and subsequent mental breakdown. It was during this period of personal chaos that he met Bonnie Nettles, a nurse with shared interests in mysticism and science fiction. Together, they forged a doctrine that blended Christian eschatology with UFO themes. Their partnership birthed the Heaven's Gate cult in the early 1970s, promising followers a path to salvation through physical and spiritual ascension. Applewhite and Nettles, known as the Two, attracted a small but devoted following. They preached renunciation of worldly attachments, advocating for a lifestyle of strict discipline and purity. After Nettles' death in 1985, Applewhite's teachings intensified, focusing on the imminent arrival of extraterrestrial beings. Yet, it was the appearance of the Hale-Bopp comet in 1997 that catalyzed the group's final drastic decision. Applewhite convinced his followers that the comet concealed a spaceship meant to transport their souls to the next level. To reach it, they needed to shed their earthly bodies. The method was chillingly systematic. A lethal dose of phenobarbital mixed with applesauce or pudding, chased with vodka, followed by plastic bags tied over their heads to ensure asphyxiation. As investigators sifted through the mansion, they found Applewhite's own body among his followers. His journey had ended alongside those he convinced to join him. But what investigators found that night, something they had never seen before, would change everything. We will get to that. The questions lingered. How did Applewhite maintain such control? Why did educated, rational people follow him to such an extreme? The former choir director and theology teacher had a hypnotic presence, his piercing eyes and soft-spoken demeanor drawing people in. He offered answers to life's biggest questions, creating a sense of belonging for those who felt lost. The group's operations were funded by web design services, a thriving business in the nascent internet age. Members lived communally, sharing every aspect of their lives, including a strict vegetarian diet and celibacy. Applewhite imposed rigorous rules, even dictating haircuts and clothing styles to suppress individuality. In their final act, they left behind a chilling legacy of faith and fanaticism. The Heaven's Gate cult's mass suicide remains one of the most bizarre and tragic events in American history. It serves as a stark reminder of the power of belief and the lengths to which humans will go in search of meaning and connection. As the sun set over Rancho Santa Fe on March 27, 1997, the world struggled to comprehend the magnitude of the tragedy. Reporters swarmed the scene, broadcasting the story of the Heaven's Gate cult to a stunned global audience. Families of the deceased grappled with grief and disbelief, searching for answers amidst the chaos. The investigation revealed meticulous planning, with members leaving behind personal identification and letters to loved ones, explaining their decision. But the enigma of why they followed Applewhite to their deaths persisted. Psychological experts weighed in, citing brainwashing and groupthink, yet no explanation fully encapsulated the complex dynamics at play. Marshall Applewhite's vision of salvation turned deadly, leaving an indelible mark on society's understanding of cult behavior. The Heaven's Gate tragedy forced a reckoning with the vulnerabilities of the human psyche and the dangers of unyielding devotion. Despite extensive analysis and discourse, one haunting question remains. What compelled these individuals to sever all earthly ties for such a drastic and definitive end? The story of Heaven's Gate serves as a cautionary tale, a dark chapter in the annals of true crime that continues to fascinate and horrify. As we delve deeper into their motivations and the final days leading to their demise, we're left pondering the fragility of belief and the ultimate cost of blind faith. Inside the mansion, investigators meticulously pieced together the events leading to the Heaven's Gate mass suicide. The evidence painted a picture of absolute devotion, orchestrated with chilling precision. Each body lay peacefully under a purple shroud, a symbol of the group's transition to the next level. The careful arrangement suggested a ritualistic order, deeply ingrained in their belief system. Forensic experts discovered that the suicides occurred in waves, not all at once. Members assisted each other, ensuring the process was carried out smoothly. Evidence showed that Applewhite's most trusted followers went first, setting an example for the remaining members. This staggering level of commitment emphasized the psychological control Applewhite wielded over the group. The investigators unearthed a treasure trove of videotapes, revealing farewell messages recorded by the members. These tapes offered a glimpse into their minds, showing unwavering faith and excitement for their impending journey. The contrast was striking. Their eyes shone with hope, starkly juxtaposed against the grim reality of their fate. Rewatching these tapes, viewers are left haunted by the serenity in their voices, an eerie testament to the power of conviction. On the tapes, Applewhite appeared calm, offering reassurances and guiding his followers in their final hours. He spoke of the joy awaiting them, painting a vivid picture of the extraterrestrial salvation they sought. His hypnotic presence dominated the recordings, a final testament to his persuasive abilities. The investigation uncovered a suspiciously large purchase of phenobarbital, traced back to a local pharmacy. The transaction raised questions about the pharmacist's role, but authorities concluded that the cult's intentions were cleverly concealed. The group had presented a facade of normalcy, their outward appearance never hinting at the darkness within. Digital footprints revealed a sophisticated web presence. The Heaven's Gate website, still active today, outlined their beliefs with meticulous detail. Ironically, the site served as both a recruitment tool and a chilling digital tombstone, preserved for posterity. The juxtaposition of their modern internet savvy against their archaic beliefs in UFOs and ascension fascinated investigators and the public alike. One striking detail emerged. Several members underwent voluntary castration, a shocking testament to their devotion. This extreme act symbolized their commitment to transcend earthly desires, aligning with Applewhite's teachings on purity. The lengths to which members went to prove their faith left investigators dumbfounded. As the investigation deepened, authorities unearthed a critical clue, a manifesto left behind by Applewhite. This document outlined the group's theology with unsettling clarity, detailing their belief in Earth as a way station before transcending to a higher existence. Yet, buried in its pages lay a chilling contradiction, a passage suggesting Applewhite himself harbored doubts about their mission. This revelation sent shockwaves through the investigation, raising the question, was Applewhite himself a victim of his own delusion? The biggest reveal came when investigators uncovered a hidden room. Inside, they found a shrine dedicated to Bonnie Nettles, Applewhite's deceased partner. Her presence loomed large over the group, her influence woven into their doctrine. This sanctum revealed the depth of Applewhite's obsession, suggesting that his drive to fulfill their shared vision extended beyond mere belief. It became his identity. The shrine's discovery shifted the investigation, highlighting the cult's roots in a personal bond rather than purely ideological fervor. It suggested Applewhite's desperate attempt to reconnect with Nettles, driving the group toward its tragic end. Was his journey a quest to reunite with her beyond this world? This revelation reframed the entire narrative, portraying Applewhite as both puppet master and prisoner of his own creation. Today, the Heaven's Gate case remains closed, the mansion long sold and remodeled. Yet the cult's legacy endures, a cautionary tale studied by psychologists and sociologists alike. The Heaven's Gate website continues to attract visitors, maintained by former members who believe in spreading its message, despite the tragedy. What remains unresolved is the allure such beliefs hold over individuals. What drives educated, rational people to relinquish their autonomy? The Heaven's Gate tragedy prompts a profound reflection on the human search for meaning and the susceptibility to charismatic authority. As night falls over Rancho Santa Fe, the unanswered question lingers. Were the Heaven's Gate members victims of manipulation, or did they willingly embrace their fate with eyes wide open? The truth, elusive and unsettling, lingers like a shadow, a reminder of belief's power and its potential to consume.